the time-critical world of toxic waste control, the success of ERM, Environmental Resources Management, depends on being first with clear, concise reports and presentations that help their clients work through a maze of constantly changing government regulations.
Here at ERM, we don't say no too often.
Not being able to say no means I gotta find a way to do it. And the Macintosh enables me to do that. It simply lets the current staff work better. It lets the current staff work faster.
I think we win jobs on presentations.
In the highly competitive world of design, Burns, Conacher, and Waldron's success depends on pitching to new business, coming up with creative solutions, and meeting their clients' production needs.
In order to go into business for ourselves and compete in New York, we had to be real productive.
The first question that came up was, what's going to make you any different? Why do you want to go into business? Why? What's your edge on the competition?
This machine was one of the things that we could use to be competitive because, you know, we did our first project was a corporate identity. The three of us did it. It was a big corporate identity. If we'd done it traditionally, we would have needed probably 3 or 4 more people, and we couldn't afford it because we were just starting out.
The reason that we used the Macintosh to go into business, and the reason that it gave us our edge, is this was the direction that design was going, and this was the tool for the future.
It's two companies in different businesses, but they have one thing in common. Their success, like yours, depends on their ability to communicate ideas. Apple has taken a creative approach to making computers so that you can take a creative approach to using them. These two firms rely on the power of Macintosh personal computers to create presentations and publications and to run their businesses. You can too. In the next few minutes, I'll show you some ways how, and then we'll return to our companies and see Macintosh in action. And after that, I'll give you some simple guidelines to select the right Macintosh for you. So, how can you use Macintosh to put together great-looking slides and transparencies for presentations or publications like this prospectus from BC&W or this report from ERM? 3 steps. You start by gathering information. Then you organize it as you develop your ideas. And finally, you deliver it as a published document or presentation. Macintosh can help in all 3 stages of this process. A Macintosh works not only with text and numbers, it can handle almost any kind of information that'll help you get your point across, like charts and graphs, illustrations, company logos, files from other computers, technical drawings, even photographic images. And if you're not an artist, don't worry. We'll show you some simple ways to get graphics like these into your computer. And once you've gathered your data and your images, you can begin working with them. Here's where Macintosh really shines. There are thousands of programs for the Macintosh designed to work in the same simple, intuitive way. And once you've learned your first program, you're well underway to learning the rest. Publishing and presentation programs let you design your project in any way you think best. You can change the typeface to get your audience's attention, finish a drawing. And here's another Macintosh exclusive. Virtually all programs work together, so it's easy to combine information from one to another. Change the color of a chart. Copy it. Paste it into a report. Add a photograph. Or just combine parts of 2 presentations and be on your way home by 7. And once you've composed your document, you're ready to print it. With another click of the mouse, Macintosh connects you to a full range of output devices. You can print a proposal, make overheads for a meeting, or create 35mm slides for a more dramatic presentation. You choose the medium that works best for your message and your audience. And all without leaving your desk, which is why we call it Apple Desktop Media. The Macintosh is powerful, easy to use, and it gives you a wide range of choices to meet your communication and business needs. Now let's go back to ERM and see how Macintosh gives them a competitive edge in their business.
Macintosh is more than just a tool for the art department, and it's more than just a tool for the word processors. It's used in almost every application the company has here that you can think of. Anything and everything, it touches all aspects of the company's business.
I guess I'm a fairly intuitive type anyway, and it just suited my intuitive nature.
Once you've learned one or two of the programs, they all work the same, and so you can work your way through a lot of different programs just by having a sense of how it works. I can collect information from a lot of different people. I can have different people working on things for me, and then when I get it, even if it's at the last minute, I can change something. We do a lot of working and setting up templates and things so that people have all the formats. You know, what we put out just looks so professional. It looks like we've sent it through the graphics department when we've done it right at our desktop.
Using the Macintosh technologies has given me much greater freedom in how I structure and deliver a presentation. We've used it to create manuals. We've used it to create overheads. We've used it to create notes for presentations. We've used it to create storyboards for videos.
When it goes to print, is basically when we want to send it out to a client, we're not going to visit them. When we go to overheads, we use the overhead transparencies if it's going to be a small audience. If there's going to be 40, 50 people in the room and it's an organization, maybe an association type meeting or something that we're doing a presentation, then we'll go to 35mm slides.
We seem to be on the brink of some technologies that are very exciting. They provide an opportunity to deliver some training services in a new way, in a way that employees can guide themselves through training, in a way that employees and clients can access information very rapidly.
We can change something many, many times more on the computer than we can on paper. And in the same amount of time, by being able to try so many different methods, you can come up with a much better design.
The time savers, when it comes back, say, move this well a quarter of an inch, or change those water flow lines to reflect a different direction. And it's done like that, and they get their printout and they're happy. Before, you used to have to make an appointment.
Yeah, I think the Macintosh has proven to be a tool that that makes us better at delivering the products that we deliver to our client.
We've just seen how ERM uses the Macintosh to create the presentations and reports their clients require. In our next segment, we'll visit the design firm of Burns, Conacher, and Waldron. The three partners met in graduate school and produced their business plan on a Macintosh and a laser writer. When they opened their doors, they had two Macintoshes. Now, everything from their accounting and new business presentations to their design and production procedures revolve around the Macintosh. And they still use the Apple equipment they started with.
When we opened the door, this was basically an open area. The first thing we set up was basically a piece of plywood, two Apple Macintosh boxes, and two Macintoshes.
Come in the morning, I turn on my Macintosh. Everyone does that in this office. They come in and turn on the Macintosh. We do that almost before we turn on the lights.
All these different types of abilities of the Macintosh makes it easier for one person to develop something from beginning to presentation.
You present the client with something that already looks like it's finished, and it's so easy for them to say, well, okay, it's fine.
So that allows us to sell, in a sense, maybe a little crazier, a little different ideas, where before you would have had trouble to, say, conceptualize it, then you couldn't really show it to the client.
Yeah, the bottom line is that we use the Macintosh and the different printers that we have, and we give something out that looks like it's already done.
I flew down to Washington, had a meeting, and here it was with 4 days. I had to produce full-color comps and ideas to go along with these concepts. When I made the presentation, sure enough, the first question was, how did you do this? But I said, we did it on the Macintosh.
The modifications you can make on a document are so much easier. Just think of what it would be like if every time you wanted to change the size of a logo on a page a little bit, you'd have to go and stat it up or down. I mean, that's the sort of thing that gives you the edge.
Well, what's happening now, companies now use design firms like us as their in-house design firm. All we have to do is put a Macintosh computer into their office with a modem and the same type of software, and it's just a matter of file changing back and forth over a modem. So in a sense, they have us in-house, on call all the time. We're getting so much work in now that we needed some sort of software to deal with the growing number of accounts now. Since we're already using the Macintosh for so many other parts of our business, it just became a natural progression into the computer. But the program on the Macintosh will allow us to see relationships between the numbers that we would not have found before.
Using a computer to do this helps you out. Otherwise, it takes 2 days, 4 days, lots of money. Call up your accountant. They do all this paperwork.
So it lets us do our real work, design. We were asked by a CEO of a company to do a brochure as a promotional piece for employees, rally them around the company. And the CEO came to us with an idea, let's use gears. It allowed me to start investigating some ideas that Michael and I had been working on in the Macintosh, to try some new illustration methods. First of all, we came up with thumbnail sketches for each of the spreads. Michael then did the base drawings for each of the illustrations and then scanned them into the computer. We went and put them into Adobe Streamline, which is an automatic trace program, which will actually trace what you've scanned in. Next, we wanted to colorize them. So what we did was took those files from Streamline and put it into Adobe Illustrator, where Michael and I colorized each of the illustrations. We were able to go through a series of 20 to 30 different color variations for each illustration and within an hour. The next thing we did was combine the images and the text in PageMaker for the design of the layout. We then took the PageMaker files and put them through Adobe Separator. Using Adobe Separator, we were able to make 4-color separations.
It was pretty wacky stuff.
Very wacky.
And I don't think the client would have gone for it if the thing hadn't already looked finished.
That's the bottom line. The Macintosh allows us to produce, what you see is what you get.
We have a shorter production time, so that leaves us more time to design. And the more time we have to design, the better job we can do.
So how can you get started? The first thing to do is decide which Macintosh is for you. Now, Apple makes 3 lines. All are fast, powerful machines. And picking the one that's right for you is a matter of matching it to the kind of work you need to do. Now, the first line fits its name, compact. It's an all-in-one design, it's transportable, it's great for working in black and white, and it has an expansion slot for adding a monitor or a special purpose card. The modular series gives you several expansion slots for a wide range of options, including color and large screen monitors. Now, larger monitors are useful if you need to see your document a full page or even 2 pages at a time. Now, the portable lets you take the power of Macintosh anywhere. It's perfect for presentations to clients and prospects, and it'll help you keep up with your business while you're on the road. Now, one thing you can count on is this. The user interface, the hardware, and the software are all consistent and compatible no matter which Macintosh you purchase. Now, in addition to a computer, you want to consider some peripheral equipment. We'll start with some products that'll help you put information into the Macintosh. Of course, you can do just fine with keyboard and mouse for typing and drawing, but a great way to speed up your work and open a lot of new possibilities is to use a scanner. Now, it can convert drawings or photographs into a form that you can work with on your computer without redrawing them. And by adding optical character recognition software, you can convert information from newspapers, magazine articles, or other printed materials without having to retype it. A color scanner lets you import color images so you can include them in your overhead transparencies, 35mm slides, and color comps. Another way to get information into your computers with an Apple CD-ROM. Compact discs hold huge amounts of information such as clip art and sound, animation, dictionaries, and business directories. Its icon appears on your desktop just like a hard drive. Now, one more way to get information into your computer is to bring it in from another computer. Your Macintosh comes with Apple Talk built right in, which means that you can exchange information and ideas with your coworkers down the hall or around the world. And if you work with people who don't have a Macintosh, you can still read their MS-DOS or OS/2 files. You can also add a modem to access specialized database services or your other offices by phone. Now, other communications hardware can connect you to the corporate mainframe. With a hard drive, you can store the work you're doing and keep all of your software available. Scanned and color images, large reports, and presentations with sound and animation will take additional space and require drives with greater capacity. By the way, most Macintosh models come with a built-in hard drive. Now, with your research completed and your information collection well underway, it's time to look at the software that lets you put it all together. Almost everyone uses a word processing package to write and edit their material. The built-in charting capabilities of many Macintosh spreadsheets will allow you to quickly create a variety of 2 and 3D bar and pie charts. Graphics programs allow you to draw and paint in either black and white or color. Image processing software allows you to clean up or modify a scanned image such as a photograph. Text, graphics, and scanned images come together in page layout software, which allows you precise control over your format and type, so you can present your information exactly the way you want for maximum impact. Presentation software makes it possible to combine the same images and information into overhead transparencies and 35mm slides. And finally, animation software lets you add sound and motion to your presentation for even greater impact. Macintosh makes it easy to combine several applications and work with them together, which is probably the way you ordinarily work, doing a lot of things at once. So, now that you've collected, compiled, and composed all your ideas and information, you'll need to take it from here to here. The kind of output devices you'll want to have in-house will depend on the format you most commonly use, the printed page, overheads, 35mm slides. No matter which of these devices you have, the simplicity of the Macintosh interface makes it very easy to choose the appropriate one. Just point and click. With any of the family of Apple laser writers, you can create high-quality black and white output, detailed line art, and graphics. The laser writer can also be used to make razor-sharp overhead transparencies. If color is an important part of your work, you may want a color printer for overhead transparencies, reports, proofs, and comps. If you do a lot of slide presentations, you may want a film recorder. It's a 35mm film camera that lets you take pictures of almost anything on the computer screen. And you can take your film to a regular Photoshop for processing. By the way, if you do only a limited volume of slides, you can send your files to a service bureau and get your slides back the next day. If you set type or create art for publication, you may want an image setter that gives you magazine quality, high-resolution output of up to 2,400 dots per inch. Or again, you can send your files to a service bureau. It's also possible to give presentations directly from your Macintosh. Video projectors, overhead displays, and big screen monitors can all be rented from your local audiovisual company. Now here's one of the most convenient and portable ways to give a presentation. It's a liquid crystal display that can sit on top of any overhead projector. Now connect it to a Macintosh and take your presentation right to your prospect or client. Well, we've gone through a number of possibilities, and you can pick the ones that make the most sense for your business. But remember, to get started, you don't need any more than a Macintosh and a printer. I think you'll find that the Macintosh system will make a big difference for you, whether in publications or presentations or running the daily operations of your business. It'll let you control your work, turn it around faster, and make a greater impact. We've prepared this pocket guide to help you review the information we've covered in this tape. Go see your authorized Apple dealer. Put the power of Macintosh to work for you.